Morbius, is it good? Is it bad? Should you go? Should you not? Find out today. Hi, how you doing today? It's Just Jess here. Hope you're having a good day. And today, yes, Morbius, we are going to go at AMC Niles 12 at 1:15 in IMAX. That's right, in IMAX. If you don't know who I am, hello, hi, my name is Jess. My YouTube channel, it's Just Jess. Here we do movie reviews, giving you the biggest and best reviews of the movies that are releasing at the time. So please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Stick around towards the end because we are gonna talk about it. We're going to leave. So we got the movie Morbius. Is this worth going in IMAX? Honestly, probably if you like vampire movies, if you want something interesting and new. Now for me, that is interesting and new because the only vampire movies that I saw was Twilight and in the video game, so I never really watched vampire movies like that. If you're coming at this movie with little to no expectations, now that is a big one, which we'll talk about more in greater detail later during the review. Also, the powers and the sound of the vampires, it's nice to see this in IMAX. Maybe that's why I had more fun with it than other bigger YouTubers and other critics, because seeing the powers and the sounds in an IMAX, I had fun with it. I was in the middle of the theater, had a good seat. Like, this was really fun to me. Now I can already be honest with you guys, other bigger YouTubers, other bigger critics are not liking this film as much as I do, but I did find other of course bigger YouTubers and critics that did like this. However, at the time of this recording, Morbius sits at a 17% tomato rotten meeting, but at 70% audience score. The last time I saw a great divide like this based on a movie was Dear Evan Hansen. So watching this movie, I can already agree it's so divisive for a lot of the context that we'll be discussing in this review. But hot take, if you're coming to this channel, I appreciate you, but I never watch trailers when going to see a new movie. It's like a first date to me. I always have the mentality of what am I gonna get? Like, I know a lot of people come with high expectations, and like, I'm just not that type of person. Like, I am not gonna go to this movie with expectations. Like, I'm always happy to go to the theaters. It's always my day off. I look good, I feel good, I smell good. Like, to me, the theaters means way more to me, sentimental and emotional, than most other people. That's just who I am. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ramble or go off on a tangent. I just want to let you guys know that I always try to find the good in theaters. You can barely see in the beginning of this review, we went during a snowstorm, so of course I'm gonna be very more uplifting about movies, and a lot of people worked on them. Like, a lot of people don't know, hairstylists, makeup artists, FX artists, FX producers. It's like a lot of people worked on film that a lot of people are just gonna bash on, but yes, we're still gonna be critical, and I do not think it was that bad like the other bigger YouTubers say that it is. But some of the bigger critics that I follow did like this movie, so we're gonna talk about that more in a second. So I don't watch trailers to any film. However, I did watch trailers after I saw the movie because I know a lot of my audience does. The trailers and the movie are very two separate things. There is way more stuff cut out from the movie than in the trailers that should have been in the movie to enhance it further, but since it's not in the movie, I'm like, why did they do that? Matt Smith's character, the last time I saw him was Last Night in Soho, which I loved him in that role. He was the bad guy. And here, I don't know, I can't say anything more, although the movie has way more prevalent character role for his development arc in the second half of the film. In the trailers, he only shown for a little bit, and Michael Keaton, you know, the Michael Keaton that plays Vulture, he doesn't say in the movie, hey, we should stick together, you and I. He doesn't say that in the movie. I'm like, why? That could have been so much more deeper storytelling for these characters in the movie, but the trailer just left them out. Like, why? We don't even see the poster where it says like hero or villain with Spider-Man's in the background. Like, I don't know why the trailers hyped it up to make this movie more better than what originally could have been. That's why I'm saying I don't think it was that bad. I know a lot of critics and YouTubers say that they're watching the trailers because it's their job, but to me, even though if this is my job and it will be one day, I will still not watch trailers because I still want to be like open-minded, like, oh my gosh, like I'm having a good time at the theaters, because it's a very different experience for everyone else. So I always try to find the good in things, but honestly, that's basically the trailers versus the movie are very two different things, and if you can accept that, then you'll probably have an okay time. I'm not saying that I had the best time, but I definitely don't think this movie's that horrible. So Jared Leto, underrated actor, by the way. I loved him in House of Gucci. I also loved him in Portrayal of Joker. A lot of people don't like him, but I liked him maybe because I connect with him a little bit more. He plays as Michael Bay Morbius, a scientist who his whole life is trying to find a cure for his disease, and I love his over narrating of the voice in the movie, especially in the trailers that I saw after the beginning of the film. Some guy's like, do you need a doctor? And he's like, I am a doctor. I love how he played that. It was really well done. He works at a Horizon in New York along with Adria Arojana. I'm sorry, I'm Latin and I can't even pronounce her last name. Besides, she is beautiful and gorgeous, by the way. She plays as Martine Bancroft, who has been working with him every single day for the past 7 years, according to their dialogue in the movie, which I heard. She always assists him in helping him find a cure, as well as helping the other patients in that hospital navigating through his disease. Because remember, in the trailers, I heard him say, a lot of people in this world have my disease. And I love his narrated, like, low tone voice, calm voice, voice when he does that narration, which he does in this film. Of course, on this channel, you know I love romance and anything that happens with romance. Now, Martine Bancroft, the girl that plays his like love assistant, I don't say love assistant, his romantic interest. They do have a romance scene. She does set up for like being a romantic partner, and I love that. I did buy that. I did believe that. I mean, come on, you don't work with someone for 7 years every single day, not at least have some sort of attraction to them. And besides, Jared Leto and this girl Adria, they're freaking beautiful. So I love that. I did believe that. I also love the ultimate surprise they give us with that character towards the end. However, she stays out of the film for the second half. Like, she's only there in the beginning to set up like the story arc. She doesn't disappear, but she's not prevalent in the second half of the film. But then in the third act, she comes back. When the movie was starting to get good, I just felt like they took her away. Matt Smith plays as Lucius Crown, a friend to Michael Bay Morbius. Ever since they were young, they were put in like, I don't want to say special hospital because they both have the same disease. His role is greatly increased in the second half of the film, but the trailers don't do him justice. He's wealthy in this movie. The only thing, I'm like, how did he get that wealthy? Because he owns like a big tower in New York with like henchmen. And the only thing the movie says is, hey, he went to law school but didn't finish. So I don't know, maybe he does some evil things. The transformation of Michael Bay Morbius happens in the beginning of the film, which is great because I did not want to wait till the second half or the third act to have the transformation happen. I'm like, great, it happens in the less than 30 minutes, which is cool because now we get to see more action fighting sequences of Michael Bay Morbius. To be honest with you, when I first saw the vampire, I thought it was, this looks a little bit off, weird, and different. The only thing I loved, like I said, I saw this in IMAX, was the powers after he manifests into Morbius. Like when he starts going fast, they do a little slow-mo action when he dodges bullets. Especially one power that I really love with the sound echo isolation thing. When he can isolate sound and like his little ears have like a little bat, I thought that was beautifully well done, especially in IMAX. The whole he can like throughout the duration of the film, that power becomes way like his special ability in some type of way because that power manifests into something bigger. Instead of just doing a room, he can do like a whole building, the whole city, which is greatly amazing to see in IMAX. Like I said, that's why I had fun with it. It's like the special effects, I thought that was beautifully done, especially for that sound echo. I just had to point that out because that was like one thing that I saw from the trailers or that I heard when I was in my seats for watching other movies that he did very well. The sound echo isolation. I was like, ah, that felt so cool when his abilities compared. Especially there's one subway scene when he fights other people and vampires. Yes, plural with an S because there is more than one vampire in this movie. That subway scene was nice because it's like two different powers. However, when the subway was coming to him, he was feeling it and like the special effects are like showing wind, I guess. And I thought he was gonna like do like a Kamehameha to like push it back. It took me a while because that scene was like drawn out. I was like, it's slow motion. It's like, what is he doing? Like he's just feeling the wind. However, in the trailers, he starts flying. And so this is like his first flight, but he uses the subway's momentum airspeed to get his like first initial boost. And I thought that was awesome because I was like, whoa, he's using not his own abilities, but like the abilities of like the nature around him or like the subway to increase his further mobility. And I thought that was well done. Like I said, the effects, the sound isolation, especially the flight. I was like, whoa, but even though the vampire just look a little cartoonish, I don't know. Because the other vampire that we see, I was like, he looks a little cartoonish. I don't know if that's me, but it just felt weird. This movie feels like an origin story like Iron Man 1, but Venom Let There Be Carnage style. When I say that, this movie's runtime is just clocking on around like 1 hour and 47 minutes. This movie felt like they shaved off a lot of scenes. Like why? This movie could have been better and just felt like rushed. They were just coming after the hype and success of No Way Home because it's like Spider-Man connections, but it just felt a little bit too rushed, a little bit too like short. I felt like there could have been more scenes added. Maybe we'll get it in like the DVD Blu-ray or like the digital release, but it really felt like they took a lot of scenes off. But for what? Like I don't mind watching a longer movie as long as it serves the story purpose, but I felt like a lot of key missing scenes that could have helped the further development of this movie based on these characters, especially Morbius. And just finishing off that point real quick, Venom Let There Be Carnage, that movie felt a little bit too short, but I felt like when you take that plot or that story arc and put it in this just with vampires, kind of feels similar. He tries to find a cure, he gets into a vampire, something bad happens that shouldn't have happened. Now he has to defeat basically someone else, and then that's it. That's basically the movie. We're gonna talk about the post-credit scene, but I'm not gonna ruin anything. It just felt like, I don't know why they added those post-credit scenes. Like, yeah, they were nice, but they felt like tacked on. They felt like an addition. They didn't even feel like well thought out. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just like, as much as I did have fun with the movies, like, why did they add those post-credit scenes? Like, yeah, they were good, but it just felt like ketchup. Even though ketchup's good, but I'm saying in terms of context of a movie, like, it just felt like rushed. Like, oh, we're gonna do this, just add it. That's it. Like, they didn't have time to curate the post-credit scene, which this post-credit scene is not as well as like No Way Homes or like Venom Let There Be Carnage, but it just felt weird. Like I said, other big YouTubers or bigger critics are probably not gonna like this film. I mean, some of that action sequences can be like this, like jumbled up together because it's like other vampires are fighting. And even the third act, like the climax, the fight wasn't like all that. I mean, it was fun, it was nice, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, you know, it just felt too quick. That's what I'm saying. This movie felt a little bit too short. Like they were going too fast or they jam-packed too many things. I did like the pacing of the film. I just felt like they had to get this movie rushed in order to capitalize No Way Home. But this movie was filming before No Way Home. That's what I'm saying. I felt like they cut a lot of things off, but for what? Like I felt like you cut off too many things to make this movie shorter, but I felt like in the end, cutting too many things off made this movie worse than what it was. Like, I'm sorry, but I did have fun with with it, but it could have been better. I don't know. I like Jared Leto in this role. I believe him as a scientist. I love the romance in this film. A lot of this movie lacks because the trailers that people perceive is very different. And I know a lot of people watch trailers before they go see the movie. However, I did come at this with a different take. This movie definitely needed more time in the oven. I'm gonna give Morbius just a plain C. Like, this is a fine movie. It's not great, but it's not that bad. It's okay, but I'm just gonna give it a C. If you made it this far, I appreciate you so much, and maybe consider subscribing so you never miss any movie reviews, especially in premium formats in the future, and hitting that notification button so you stay updated. Take care, guys.